Hi, this is Chuck Martin. We're here in Austin, Texas, our annual show. Welcome, Jena. Jena Howell, Vice President of the people who run this show, Informa Tech.
Yes, hi, Chuck. Good to be here.
So this show is absolutely packed. I've been trying to get through the crowds. It's amazing.
It's a good show. It's good conversations, good discussions. But I think Austin's definitely showed up today.
Boy, did Austin show. We've been actually interviewing a lot of Austin people here. And everyone's just like raving about what's going on here. They're talking about Dell, talking about from way back when, and they're talking about Tesla and Oracle and IBM, and it goes on and on. John Deere talked about their office here.
It's definitely changing, but also it feels like a resurgence, right? We saw Austin in the 80s and really supported by VC funds then coming into the community, and you saw this little tech boom in the 80s, and it's almost like we're seeing that again, and the next level of it. On top of the VC funding, seeing a lot of collaboration from these tech companies happen now. So it's almost phase two.
Yeah, speaking of collaboration, looking at the program in here, we've got IoT, we've got AI, we've got quantum. Well, how is that all melding together?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think you have two things happening, right? You have the convergence of technologies, and then you have the collaboration across ecosystems. And I feel like it's these two things together which is what's making it so exciting in this space at the moment. So on the convergence side, yes, we're talking about AI, IoT coming together. You see quantum computing is that next phase, but also the new one we have here, a stage up front called on cybersecurity. So where does AI and cyber meet? How are CISOs getting involved now at the table to make these decisions on what AI investments we make for businesses? I think the convergence of technology is crucial, but I also think then the partnership aspect of it is you can't do all of this by yourself, right? How do you partner across the ecosystem? How do you bring these things together so that people aren't thinking in silos and we're really building out these full solutions?
Interesting you mentioned cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is something that cuts across everything. It's horizontal. We're starting to get more horizontal things like that, things that, like ethics, it's horizontal. It's not in one of these groups. Security is horizontal. Connectivity is horizontal. Mm-hmm. How do you see that evolving over time? That seems like a big deal.
Absolutely. I think regulation is another one that we're starting to see as well as that horizontal. It's an interesting one because I think each one is evolving very differently. Regulation, ethics, a little bit more of a regional discussion going on right now, which makes sense when you think about ethics. But then cybersecurity, it's much more global in nature and figuring out how these two technologies play. So it depends on the horizontal issue, but each is evolving in their own right.
So in terms of events, you have AI in London, the AI Summit. There's this event, which has things like the Visionaires Lounge, where the AI industry leaders are meeting all the time in their private areas. You've got another one coming up in New York in December. Then what? What does next year look like, and what does December look like?
Oh, I'm so excited for December. Join us in New York. It's going to be huge. Registration is open. We're surpassing all the milestones. It's largely finance, retail, healthcare focused, but really great names. The agenda's starting to come out, and excited by who's going to be there. I think the White House might be there as well. So some really cool things and discussions happening in New York around AI, and it's really around the commercialization of AI. But if we look at next year, our plans are big, right? We have a lot of requests from a lot of areas to cover this topic. So we'll start the year in Singapore as part of Asia Tech X, and we'll be covering AI, IoT, Quantum there as well. Then we go to June in London at our AI Summit at Tobacco Dock.
That's a big event.
That is a big event. Exciting, outside, beautiful venue. It's going to be... I think building on this year is going to be really exciting to see that come together. Then after London, we are looking at the second half of the year. We have New York again at the end of the year. We always cap off with New York. But we have other things and other partnerships that we're looking at, and it's specifically around that convergence of technologies. So we are working with other brands at Informa Tech, like Black Hat, and bringing together this conversation around cyber and also AI. What we do in our series, what we fundamentally believe in, is bringing the executive together with the practitioner. That's what we want to do, whatever practitioner that might be. At London, we bring together the executive and the data scientists. When we talk about these algorithms, how do we get them through? we want to do that at Black Hat as well, where we bring together AI and cyber. You saw that this year at Black Hat, a huge conversation happening there. So this will be another exciting thing next year, this convergence of technologies. Another one is the semiconductor space, the display space. So we're working, we'll have an event later on this year in November in Korea, in Seoul, and it's the convergence of AI, display, and semiconductor technologies. So there's a lot of those convergence events that we'll see next year in our pipeline as well.
And I see, like, there's a big thing called Omdia here, which is part of the research group. Tell me about that. That's been a busy area here as well.
Yes, Omdia brings our experts here to share what we're seeing, what we're hearing from the market. So this is a market research consulting house covering AI, IoT, but we cover, what's unique about Omdia is we cover these technologies at deep level, but also the breadth. So we have many different Omdia analysts that cover really deep into service provider, into auto, into semiconductors, and we'll partner them with one of our AI analysts or our IoT analysts. So we understand the impacts in these various industries or technologies. So they're here sharing what they're hearing right now from the market, who's winning, what it looks like, and it's really fascinating to listen to what's happening in these very fast markets.
So it looks like it's going to be a busy year.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chuck.